Hello lovely sewing friends, I hope you guys are doing well. This is the second video. Yeah, this is the second one of the year, I think. I hope, I wish. I'm all over the shop at the moment because it is the first or second week of January and you know how that goes. So, first of all, I hope you guys had a lovely first week back in January. I have been doing what I said I would do in December last year, first week of January. So what that means is, what did I do? I know I fixed a few things. I fixed my bra, which was a good thing. I sewed up that like little pouch I said I was going to do, so I did those. And I was very happy with myself. Because no one talks about the relief that comes when you finally finish a sewing project. Like the bra I had like put to one side for like a year was always like, gotta do that, gotta do that, gotta do that. And then so when I finally did it, it's like, finally. Oh, also I started a new cross stitch. I'll show you 1 second. I didn't plan on showing you, therefore it's on the couch. So just wait there. Not like you can move. Where is it? Okay. So I have been taking some nights on the couch. So I've been managing to do some cross stitch and embroidery. So you may remember this one. So this was the one I started when I first came to Melbourne. It's taken me like 2 years, but that's because I like put it down for like 1 year and 10 months. So that's that one. I really love it. It's like kind of like mosaic-y, tile-esque. That's all freehand. And then I've started work on another one here. So I wanted to do like the same kind of style, but with different colors. So that's it so far. I'm really enjoying it. And fun fact, so I was going through my threads and everything, got all my threads organized. And then I wanted to start a new cross stitch, but I didn't have the same kind of weight of Aida cloth, which is what this is called. And so I was like, oh God, like I'm either going to have to compromise, something I do not do lightly, with another cloth so this is like 12 by 12 squares per inch or whatever. And the other one I had was 14. And I'm like, I can, but I don't want to. So I rummaged around like some of my old cross stitch sewing projects and I found this thread, and like you can see like a little bit of the previous cross stitch there. And then so what I had to do is I had to unpick like this kind of it was a cross stitch of a bear, but like I didn't enjoy doing it, therefore I didn't finish it. So my unfinished project now turned into a new unfinished project. So that's what I'm working on currently. So I'm really enjoying doing that because it's got that like that chartreusey green in there. It's gorgeous. And I just love how these kind of like develop over time, because when I first started this one, oh God, when I started this one on this kind of up and down stitch, but as I go on, it just developed into something completely new to me. So I just like to let them evolve. So hopefully I'll update you guys regularly on this one, but I promise nothing because it might be 2 years until it's finished. Anyway, so today I want to talk to you guys about painting the back of the fence, right? So this is a phrase that I heard for the first time early last year when I went to like a businessy conference, and basically it's a Steve Jobs quote. And what it is that like the story goes along the lines of like, I hope it's Steve Jobs, because otherwise I sound like a knobhead, like attributing it to him. Anyway, so when he was a kid, he lived on a farm or something. It's a farm quote. And the farm backed onto some woods and he was painting the front of the fence. And his dad or stepdad or whatever said, you need to paint the back of the fence. And he was like, well, it doesn't matter because we're not going to see it. And it's like, no, but you'll know that it's unfinished. So you need to paint the back of the fence. So anyway, either that's a story from Steve Jobs or Steve Jobs said that thing. I heard it at this conference and it's really stuck with me ever since, because oh my God, how true is that for sewists and creatives? Because creativity is like a never-ending cycle. It just goes round and round and round, because like you can start something and then over time your skill gets better, and then you get back to the start and you're like, I don't like this anymore. Example, start ugly. Like some of the first sewing projects I had were awful, but I started with them. So it just shows your progress. And this shows my progress. I've had these out because I always use them in videos like this, and I just love showing the progression of time, skill, and like the love for actually doing this. Speaking of, I've started a new painting as well. Let me show you. See, this is how much I've been enjoying my evenings. I've started painting again. So this is going to be some cherries, right? So I've got the branch there, got some leaves, and then I've got the cherries there. And what I really like about this painting is how it balances, like, so this is all going to be greenery up here on the leaves, and then it's all going to be like deep reds, like a burgundy. Anyway, paint the back of the fence. And so what this means for us as sewists and creatives, it's about, you know, like, if you make a mistake, it like all good, but you're going to see it every time you look at that thing. For example, right? The reason why like it has 1 spike, 2 spike, 3 spike there, no 4th spike there, is because when I first started stitching it, I was embroidering with 3 threads instead of 2. And then I noticed it, and then I did all the rest with 2s. And yes, I could have kept that as a 3 thread, but I would know, and that would piss me off. And I would see it every time I saw it. And I'm like, no, I can't have that. So what this kind of translates to us as sewists is like making the inside of the garment as beautiful as the exterior. And so whether that be like, you know, doing Hong Kong seam finishes. So a Hong Kong seam finish is where you put bias binding down each individual layer of your seam allowance when it's kind of pressed flat, and then you like do bias binding down both seams. And that's normally done in like, you'll see it in like a Burberry coat where it's unlined. So that's kind of a really beautiful way of finishing a garment without a lining. So that's that. Another way is like putting like little care labels in. And that doesn't mean like care instructions, but it means like little elements that you know are there that makes it so special. For example, when I was in university for sewing, I've got a bit of a itchy nose. We had like a unit where this is also the original like story of where the name Ford came from. So funny story, because I get asked about this a lot, and a lot of people think it's my last name, and it's not. So let me talk to you about it. So we had a unit in my 3rd year of university where we had to, 4th year unit, and we had to create like a brand kind of thing, and we had to pick a name, and I was like, oh, I'll think about that later, I've got other stuff to worry about. And then as the deadline was getting closer and closer and closer, I was like, God, I just need to put something down and work on it, and I'll sort it out later, right? So my surname's Stafford, Stafford. So I was like, 4 letters, quite nice, so Ford. So I kind of worked with that. And then Ford became like forward motion, sustainability with the O. You know, I did some designs around that. It was really lovely. It was gorgeous. And then at the end of the unit, we got like some like brand labels to like sew into our collection, which were gorgeous. And then I was like, oh, cool. You know, I finished university and I still had all of these care labels. So I started putting them in like the clothes I was making, which is cute. And then I needed to think of like an Instagram name to start my account to, you know, put all this sewing stuff out and get this whole thing started. And I was like, well, I've got these care labels, so I might as well like make my thing Ford. And of course, like Ford, Toyota, whatever they're called, had that. And then there's Tom Ford. So I was like, fuck it, Ford wardrobe, like I'll sort it out later. Nearly 5 years later, I have not sorted it out. And this just goes to show, like, just get started. Just get started with what you have. Anyway, goes to say, this was one of my first things that I made when I got out of university. And you can see the little care labels there. How cute is that? I really love those. So the reason I tell you this is because my neighbor came round the other night and she saw that and she was like, oh, how sweet, and da-da-da-da. So I thought I'd talk to you guys about that. So I've got those ones there. But of course, if you haven't done a 4-year degree in sustainable sewing and fashion design, there are other alternatives to get your little care label. So Kylie and the Machine is a lovely sewing brand account, whatnot. And she does like these like care labels. You must have seen them, right? So I got these Christmas of 2023 in the Christmas baubles. So there's like fancy, and so like that would go in like the back neck part where my care labels were. And then there's like this little sun, which can easily be like a like in the side or something, or like a smaller garment. No toile club, we can relate, can't we? And so she's got like all of these like little designs and everything homemade, which is lovely. And then there's this like little like spacer that you can use for your garments, which is brilliant. So Kylie and the Machine for care labels and whatnot. I actually used some recently on my sister's wedding present, which is at the end of January. So yeah, like I've been using them for handmade gifts all the time. Another way you can paint the back of your metaphorical fence is by like doing something like hand stitching, or you know, doing something extra in your garment to make it yours. So for example, like sewing on a button, or you know, like just finishing it off in a way that adds your handmade touch to it. For example, you guys have seen this top so many times. I have worn it so many times, and I've actually used it in a recent sewing tutorial where I was showing like how to sew on a facing. And of course, to show how to sew on a facing, I had to like take it all apart. So I need to repair it. Literally, this garment, I've worn it probably like 3-4 times a week, to the point where I don't think it ever spends a day in my wardrobe, because it goes from being worn to washer to being hung out to dry to I want to wear that today. So something like, you know, a beautiful hand needle and thread sewing finish is lovely. I also, because this was a dress, as I'm sure you've seen, I actually kept the label from the original dress, and I put it back in here, which I love, because it's like, no, this is a Koto garment, but I made it my own, and that's visibly shown. But I also kind of wanted to keep, like, in a way, kind of like respect the dress that it was. Fun little things, I guess. Speaking of dresses and weddings and whatnot, so, and speaking of unfinished, oh my God, speaking of unfinished sewing projects, right? So, I have a dress in my wardrobe called the Ford Gathered Dress. It is gorgeous. I wear it a lot as a top and as a dress. Anyway, as I was saying, for my sister's wedding, there's an event where we all have, it's like white, you have to wear white. It's a lawn bowls. We're going lawn bowling. I think I know what that is, but I might have to Google it. Anyway. So I had this dress in my wardrobe. Again, I had not worn it for about 3-4 years, right? Because all white dress, kind of looks like you're getting married. Not against that. So I hadn't worn it, and I was like, right, for this lawn balls party, I'm going to wear it, but I don't want to wear it as a dress because I'm not really feeling the dress vibe, and also a dress in white is kind of like a bit too much like a wedding dress, like I've just said. So what I did is I got it and I cut it up, right? And I was ripping it apart and I was tearing through seams and I was like, cha 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 cha. And then I was about to start cutting the shorts when my sister came over, and she was coming over to like kind of, I asked her to come over and I was like, hey, can you just like look through my wardrobe, see what you think would work for different events? All good. So she comes over and we're talking about the white outfit to wear. And I showed her like the toiles of the top and the shorts that I was making from this dress that I've just ripped up. And then she was like, no, like, I like it. I think you should do the dress. And I was like, really? You think I should do the dress? The dress that I've just ripped up. The dress that I already had sorted, but thought was too much like a wedding dress, and I didn't want to annoy you, and so I made it into a top and a shorts. You think it would be better as the dress. So what I am doing now is taking a sewing project that was finished for like 2-3 years, and then I undid it, and now I have to redo it. So I'll show you, right? And you know what's funny about this is that I actually filmed myself like trying it on before and being like, I'm wearing this dress to my sister's wedding, but not like that, but like this. And it's like before and after, and I thought it'd be like a really cute reel. And I'd already like written the script for it and everything, and I'd like got videos of me like ripping it up and like anyway. So this is okay. I'll show you kind of what the dress looks like before, even though you might have seen it. Let me just see if I've got, okay, it's over there. So this is the top. So what it is like a sheared bodice and then layers. Just imagine layers, right? And the top has like bows on stuff. It's really, really cute. I look very good in it. Some would say too good, but it's cute, right? And then, so this is like the layers. Imagine layers, right? So I'd like rip this all up. And you wanna know the most annoying thing is that it's gathered. It's gathered, right? So I've got to gather this much fabric into this much space. And you wanna know what? I've already done this! And then I had to cut it up and now I have to do it again. It's okay, we're fine. We're pretty, we're perfect, we're lovely. So, yeah, I think, I don't know whether I'm making any progress or I'm just kind of going backwards. What do you think? Because I'm trying to move forward, but it seems like I'm trying to run on ice at the moment, just like, and then sliding back. So I hope your sewing projects are making forward momentum, more than mine. And same time next week, cool.